Well, good morning and happy Valentine's Day. It's terrific to be in this room of 1,200 people who love this city in this downtown. And if you'll indulge me for just a brief personal moment, I want to wish my wife, Erin, a special happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. And this, of course, is just what she wanted. Get up early for a breakfast, listen to me talk for 20 straight minutes. I won't say anything at dinner tonight. Downtown Seattle today is a success story. And this morning, I want to highlight our progress and speak to how we can keep our momentum. It's true we're doing a lot right, and it's true we still face challenges. But the commitment in this room and the speakers we've heard from this morning are signs we are up to the task. Thank you, Mayor Murray and Executive Constantine, for your leadership, your partnership, and your positive words about downtown this morning. Thank you, Matt, Julia, and Courtney, for sharing your passion. You've inspired us and given us a blueprint to stay people-focused as we grow and develop. And thank you, Monique, for your expert moderation. And thank you, Vashon, for sharing your vision of the power of cities to be part of the solution to some of our most pressing national and global challenges, and for your focus on the importance of staying focused on great urban design as we grow. Getting to know Vashon and his work and his view of cities as solutions, I was taken back to a trip I took with my family when I was 11. We visited 4 big cities on the East Coast: Boston, DC, Philly, and New York. And I remember my dad on that trip reading every single word of every single historical plaque at every single historical monument in each one of those cities. But what really stuck with me was getting that first glimpse of what Londoner Alan Francis called Cathedrals of Commerce. Towering skyscrapers and the bustle of people who filled them and spilled out from them. And the streets alive with more activity than I'd ever seen before. These were places rich with history, prosperity, and opportunity, and full of energy. To me, standing there in Times Square, it felt like anything was possible. I was mesmerized, and I wanted to know what makes cities tick. I still have that fascination and curiosity, and now I get to see it all up close, and I'm still deeply impressed with the power of cities and the people who help make and shape them today. So let's start there. Let's talk about making and shaping our city. The first thing you notice when you look around downtown Seattle today are the cranes. That's not the right slide, not those cranes. That is a sandhill crane. And while they are big and amazing, and they do live and migrate through Washington, you do not generally see them in the heart of the city. I'm talking about the cranes you see right here in the heart of Seattle. Not those guys either. I did love that show, but not those guys. Yes, that is more like it. Walk, bike, drive, monorail, light rail, anywhere around Seattle, and you'll see cranes. We've been called the crane capital of America. We have cranes to build buildings, of course, cranes to load and unload ships. We even have cranes to put together other cranes. At last count, Seattle had 62 cranes in the air, more than anywhere in the nation. These cranes symbolize confidence. We're growing because people want to be part of a healthy, vibrant downtown. And healthy and vibrant we are. Given that, it gives me great pleasure at this sold-out breakfast to report to you that the state of downtown is strong. Our city is thriving for all who share downtown. Shopkeepers, visitors, students, immigrants, artists, researchers, families, farmers. Downtown is truly everyone's neighborhood. The 4 pillars we use to measure the health of downtown are live, work, shop, and play. At each of your seats is our annual State of Downtown report. Please take this with you and review our progress. We're proud of the results over the last year. Let me give you just a few highlights. More and more of us now live downtown. More than 70,000 fellow Seattleites now reside within the 12 neighborhoods that make up downtown Seattle. More young workers, families, and empty nesters are calling downtown home, and college students are increasingly drawn to the excitement of our urban core. And what's the fastest growing demographic downtown? Kids. Today, there are over 3,000 kids in downtown Seattle, which is a near doubling since 2010. And condos are back. New inventory is selling just about as fast as it's coming online. More condos are on the way, including Nexus, a 41-story project that will have nearly 400 homes just a few blocks east of here. For those who work downtown, you've gotten a lot more company, and you're going to get more. We're up to 265,000 jobs in downtown Seattle, which is an increase of 20,000 jobs in just a single year. To put that in perspective, that's like a sold-out NBA arena full of new downtown workers. The only downside I can see to all this growth is the lines at our food trucks are getting absurd. But at least you can always get a banana from our friends at Amazon. Have you been by their community banana stand at 7th and Westlake, where they're handing out free bananas every day? In December, they gave away their 1 millionth banana. And you will not believe this. I was a lucky customer. Right place, right time. And I haven't gone anywhere without this precious banana. And it's amazing that this is still yellow since December, isn't it? And now that you've seen it, I think I need to put this banana in a very safe place. It's going to be very valuable someday, this banana. Excuse me. Alexa, would you please send in the drone to retrieve this banana?
John, your banana will be fine. Continue with your speech.
Very good, very good. Alexa, I will continue. Speaking of Amazon and their impact on our downtown, you cannot overstate it. They've raised the bar on design, made important investments in our public realm and affordable housing and additional streetcar service, and they created thousands of jobs right in the heart of our city. Their second tower is now complete, and they've recently broke ground on a third. And then there's shopping. Taxable retail sales in downtown Seattle increased 28% in 2010. Downtown retail is competing in a really tough retail environment by blurring the lines between traditional retail, dining, and entertainment experiences, and offering a variety of experiences, all in close proximity to one another. You can really get it all downtown, from small craft markets to short-term retail pop-ups, to the night market at Pike Place, to flagship department stores, and one-of-a-kind independent shops. There is even a store where you can walk in, grab what you want, and walk right out without getting arrested. And it's called Amazon Go, and it will open a few blocks from here in just a few months. And that takes us to play. For visitors and residents alike, downtown Seattle takes fun seriously. Spending on arts, entertainment, and food in downtown has increased 35% since 2010. 2,800 hotel rooms are currently under construction in downtown to keep up with our increasing visitor demand, including what will be downtown Seattle's largest hotel located at 8th and Howell, the Hyatt Regency. And restaurants, so many new restaurants, so many choices for our foodie friends. We had nearly 2 restaurants open per week in downtown Seattle last year. And we always like to keep our eye on the latest concepts from around the country when it comes to dining. And you know this if you've been to this event before. And we see an opportunity here with Seattle's love for food and our love for cranes. From our friends up north, it's called Dinner in the Sky. And this, the banana thing was a joke. This is real. This is coming to Vancouver this July. There's a lot of questions that this raises for me. If you're someone prone to dropping your fork, this is not for you. If you frequent the restroom often when you dine out, this is not for you. I understand for $10 extra, you can base jump back to your car after your dining experience, coming in July to Vancouver. This incredible economic activity, driven by those living, working, shopping, and playing in downtown Seattle, generates significant returns that benefit the entire city. And all this private investment in downtown is fueling improvements in our public infrastructure, as Dow and the mayor mentioned, to create more welcoming public spaces and more options to get to and move through downtown. For instance, streetcar service from Pioneer Square, the Chinatown International District, now links First Hill and Capitol Hill. An 8-minute light rail ride connects downtown to Husky Stadium. Light rail is having the effect of shrinking our city, inviting residents and visitors anywhere to visit everywhere. Speaking of transportation, we must celebrate the progress that Bertha made this last year. Now, yes. Now, Bertha has had her share of cynics. Nobody in this room, but this machine has had her share of cynics, people who thought she would never get going. Some people even suggested that pigs would fly in downtown Seattle before Bertha resumed tunneling. Well, folks, pigs did fly in downtown Seattle in 2016, and Bertha is on the move again. And Billy, that pig you saw, she will land on what will be the new Pike Place Marketfront expansion, which will also open just a few months from now. Congratulations to our friends at the Pike Place Market. Across all metrics, it's been an incredible year of progress, and there's much more to come. As we start to look ahead, please join me in thanking an incredible team at the Downtown Seattle who work hard every single day to support this progress in our downtown and who help plan and put on today's event. Thank you to our team and to all our partner organizations here in both the public and private sector. With so much happening right here and right now in downtown, we often get asked, what's downtown Seattle going to look like just a few years from now? Well, let me show you. All the projects you will soon see in this video are either under construction or will soon break ground and be completed within just a few years. And they will keep fueling downtown's incredible desirability. Take a look. Pretty amazing, right? The prosperity, yes. The prosperity that we're seeing every day right outside this room, and all that's still coming, is the proof of the vital role of cities. And Seattle, in the way that we are growing and investing, is pointing the way to a more urban future for our country. Now, I don't want to gloss over the challenges we faced. We've heard about some of them this morning, from affordability to homelessness to congestion. We have tough issues in Seattle and in our bustling downtown. I believe we can address these issues by doing two things well. One, protect and advance the fundamentals that have made downtown successful in the past. And two, embrace partnerships between the public and private sector like never before. Let's begin with the fundamentals. What are the elements that have made downtown successful through history? As these pictures show, it was great walkability, reliable and accessible transportation options, dynamic public spaces, density that creates a ready market for goods, services, and ideas. Our country was full of thriving downtowns in the early 1900s. And then their fortunes declined as there were cleaner, more accessible, more convenient alternatives in the suburbs. And in some ways, the response of downtown leaders in the 60s, 70s, and 80s was to attempt to claw back by mimicking the suburbs, by building and designing around the automobile, de-emphasizing walkability and public space. Some downtowns lost sight of the centrality of the human experience, and it was a reminder of just how fragile downtowns are. But by refocusing on walkability, on quality public spaces, on design that puts people first, downtowns across the country, and certainly here in Seattle, have regained their competitive edge. Today, it's the suburbs doing the imitating. Suburban developments are creating more walkable experiences with quality public space and multiple ways to get there. Like Tyson's Corner, just outside of DC, where they've developed apartment towers and improvements to public space. And outside of Philadelphia, where they're bringing light rail to the King of Prussia Mall. Downtowns should feel flattered, but the takeaway is that as we plan for our future, we must fully commit to these fundamentals, to these qualities that have fueled our past and current success, and make urban life in downtown Seattle and in downtowns across our country and world so desirable. We can never abandon these fundamentals again. The projects we just heard about from our panel are terrific examples of design with people and walkability in mind, making them inclusive and resilient, giving people multiple reasons to visit. They also share one other characteristic. To be achieved, they require close collaboration and cooperation between private and public interests. The good news is, we have done this before. From the regrades that made Seattle to the improvements to Seattle Center in the 1960s to host the World's Fair. Our city has shown that the great things that get done in this town and that last are done through partnership, through a common vision and commitment and a clear set of strategies. Think about 20 years ago when our retail core was in decline as Frederick and Nelson and other retailers closed just a few blocks from here. Downtown's retail core was revived through a partnership between the Nordstrom family, the city, and local investors to develop Pacific Place and the Nordstrom flagship. This partnership has delivered significant returns for private interests, but also the public sector. And how about last year, as the mayor mentioned, where DSA partnered with the city and the Parks Department to transform Westlake and Occidental parks into spaces that are welcoming to everyone. Also mentioned, 12 years ago, half the people commuting to downtown were coming alone in their cars. And because of our constrained space, we knew that we had two choices. Either spend hundreds of millions of dollars on new structured parking and invite gridlock to the middle of our downtown, or give downtown employees alternatives to driving alone in their cars. Together with the public sector, we chose the latter. The public sector invested in new transit service and turned to DSA and Commute Seattle to educate and consult with businesses and property owners. Businesses and property owners invested in transit passes, van pools, better bike parking, and shower facilities for their employees. And the result, as the mayor highlighted, we've added nearly 50,000 jobs in the last 6 years and just 2,500 additional drivers in the morning commute in downtown Seattle. We've gone from 50% of people commuting in their cars alone in 2004 to downtown to just 30% today. The rest of those workers are walking, riding transit, or biking to work, and many have decided to move downtown. This was done through a partnership, and we have proven that public public-private partnerships can move Seattle forward. But now we must turn the crank faster. Why? Because there are still plenty of issues that need addressing, for which only collaboration and cooperation will do. I think cities are solutions. I think we need to show a way at a time when politics in our country is in flux, and frankly, at times, in dysfunction. Cities have always been the front door to intellectual vibrancy. Cities are inclusive, without walls or barriers to stifle the imagination. Seattle especially, as a gateway to Asia, a neighbor to Canada, and tucked up here in the left-hand corner of our country, far from the other Washington, can use our spirit of partnership and innovation to step up to some of our current challenges. So many of the tough issues we face in downtown in our city today are driven by our success, from housing affordability to traffic to the need for more public spaces and public schools to serve downtown's growing population. I have faith that we can make considerable progress on these issues if we further embrace partnerships and a bias toward action. We can use our current momentum to envision and create a sustainable path to the future, a future that we must shape together. And we have a special name for those who shape Seattle's future, one you've already seen and heard about today. City makers. That's you. You who showed up today because you care about this city and this downtown. You who support the work at the DSA. You who live, work, shop, and play downtown. I began by celebrating the impact that tower cranes have had on downtown. They're no doubt impressive, but the real city makers are the 1,200 people in this room who have chosen to locate their business here, invest in a new project, house people in need, to improve a public space, to foster ideas that are changing the world, and to come together to create a healthy, vibrant downtown. You are the ones building and shaping this incredible city, and I'm grateful to all of you. Over 90% of you in this room are members of the DSA, and I want to thank you. And as Richard noted in his welcome, if you're not a member, please join us, either as an individual or organization. Our work touches everyone, and we want your voice to be heard. If you're a DSA member already, I want to ask you to do two things. First, recruit others. We're an organization for everyone who wants a healthy, vibrant downtown. And our voice is stronger when there's more of us at the table. And second, get involved. Our team needs you on committees and task forces, and we need your presence at events and activities we support. Promise yourself you'll take advantage of more of what downtown and DSA has to offer this year. Thank you for all you do for our downtown and for coming this morning. Thank you for being the force behind a downtown and a city that are thriving. With your help, we will sustain our prosperity and continue to protect this place we all love. Thank you very much.